Welcome back, 40's fams, to yet another episode. For this week's episode, I was trying to figure out what kind of content I wanted to cover. And I figured for this week, we would shake it up a little bit from a daily vlog and go to the basis and the idea of this channel in the first place. I decided this week's episode would be based on changes in your 40s. Not the good changes, but the changes in your 40s. The things they don't tell you, the things that you wish you knew going into it. I thought this was a really good idea for an episode this week because I wish I had resources and I wish I had something to help guide me through all these changes when they happen. Because these changes, all of them, came in swift and they came in fast. And I really didn't know how to navigate through it, or if this was normal, or if other women were going through it. And that's what inspired this channel in the first place. I really thought this topic would be a good idea for an episode because the way that I look at it, these changes are inevitable. And whether you're aware of it or not, you will still go through it. And while I can honor the very idea that every woman's journey throughout this stage of life is different, because it's so uniquely different, the very fact that they go through this and endure it is the same. And I figured that since this transition will happen to every single woman, I know for me, I would have rather gone into this transition in the know versus blindly. Because this change will happen no matter what. Going in knowing what to expect, it won't be that hard of a transition or shock for me. And that's essentially what I wanted to do in this episode for other women. So let's start off. Number one, hair, specifically facial hair. That one I'm ranking it number one because truth be told, it was probably the biggest change and biggest shocker for me. I noticed in my 40s and going into my mid 40s, hair's popping up in places I didn't even know could exist. It, particularly on my face. And I don't mean just, the peach fuzz that you have all throughout your life. I'm talking like lumberjack. And I'm shaving my face like once every 2 weeks. There are benefits. Because I kid you not, your makeup and moisturizer go on more evenly, much more even. But the hair comes, ladies. It comes in and it comes in fast and it comes in fierce. And while we're still staying on the upper part of a woman's body and the face part, hair again, places that I've never had to worry about. Nose. In the 44 and a half years of existence on this planet, I have not once ever had to worry about trimming or controlling my nostril hair. Well, ladies, be prepared because 40s hit and it's growing out. It's coming out. It's coming for you, and it's coming out fast to the point where it's trying to run away from your face. It grows out that way. And I didn't even think that nostril hair could grow that long or in that direction, but it does. It's not the end of the world. I can acknowledge that, but it was probably one of the biggest shockers for me because it wasn't something that I ever anticipated or expected would ever happen. So second, while we're on the topic of hair, let's just keep it consistent. Gray hair. We all know and we all expect it's going to happen. And obviously it's different for every woman because your base color is different. Your hair composition is different. For me, it's a little challenging because my virgin hair is dark brown-ish black, right? Like dark brown black. So when you get the gray hair come in, it's very apparent. I remember getting my gray hair. It was gradual. It wasn't something that came in really quick. I would say I probably even started getting it in my 30s, but still coming in hot. Gray hair, it was a bit of a struggle trying to figure out what haircut to do or what hairstyle. I mean, for some people who have lighter hair or blonde hair, strawberry blonde, it's easier to blend the grays in. But when you have dark hair, you look like Cruella from 101 Dalmatians. Now, if you like that, there's good on you, right? If you can rock that, do it. And it's just not a look that I've ever wanted for myself. And I remember the maintenance on it when I was originally just all dark, no highlights or anything. I still would have to get color and do my roots probably every 2 or 3 weeks. It was so frequent. And I remember my husband did my hair once and he's like, you should just let it go gray and have it grow out like it's a highlight. And he's like, I just saw it on this woman and it looked really cool, like a salt and pepper kind of like. And I looked at him and I was like, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to run for the door because I'm about to punch you in the face. Again, gray hair is not something that I ever want to sport. And I understand it's natural and I understand it's a normal part of life, but it's not a normal part of my life. And it's just a look that I don't like for myself. Gray being so prominent and so obvious. I talked to my hairdresser and she's amazing. And she had said, let's do highlights. Let's eventually lift your hair a couple of levels. It'll take up multiple sessions to get to where we need to. But when we ultimately get to that achieved level of lightness, when your grays do come in, which is inevitable, they'll blend a lot better and it won't be as noticeable. My hairdresser is amazing. She is a genius. She knows hair in and out, and she was so honest about, what would work, what doesn't work, what's realistic in terms of expectations, what isn't. And we finally agreed on something, which is where it's at now. So it's kind of a blonde. That's right. I know that Asian people are not normally blonde. I get it. However, I do like the look of it. And it also, it works in line with my goal of trying to find some kind of hair color or hairstyle that doesn't make the regrowth so obvious. So Jen, I love you. Thank you. You're amazing. Number 3, wrinkles. Again, probably one of the most obvious signs of aging. And there are so many techniques and so many things that you can do. And I know there are procedures that you can do from a preventative standpoint, but I missed that gravy train. I'm about 20 years too late for that. So that's not going to be in this channel. I ain't covering that. Let's fast forward to the 40s, shall we? My wrinkles came in probably about, I'd say probably about my late 30s. And I started getting Botox probably at 40, and I was really hesitant about it because I wasn't really familiar with how it worked, and I'm really a chicken when it comes to pain and any level of pain. The pain is manageable, and I really think that the final result and outcome, it's well worth it. But you definitely have to budget for it. I would say in terms of frequency, it does vary from woman to woman. I get mine done probably every 4 to 6 months, depending. Again, this is probably a controversial thing and people will have their opinions, but to kind of go in with Botox is plastic surgery. I think plastic surgery, it is a very controversial thing. Personally, again, this is my opinion, my experience. I have had plastic surgery done. I have never regretted it. I think at the end of the day, if that's something you want and you're doing it for yourself and not for other people, I say do it. We only live life once. You have to be doing it for the right reasons. If you decide to do any procedures with plastic surgery, again, go to a skilled professional, someone who's willing to hear your concerns, what your desired achieved look is, and also does it to a point where it's not obvious. That's at least what I would like from my surgeons, is to have it be as natural looking as possible. That's just for me. And take it or leave it, but I don't regret having it done, and I'm all for it as long as you're doing it for the right reasons. Exercise. So fitness in your 40s, that is something that I believe will truly vary from woman to woman. Just because really it boils down to what your experience is in it, what's your feelings towards it. For me personally, Fitness has always been something that's been important and a crucial part of my life. Not necessarily for the physical benefits, although it is to a point, but more for the mental benefits, because I feel that it's cathartic for me. It's the way I process emotions. It's my outlet. And I've been running since I was probably 17 or 18, an outdoor runner. I lift weights occasionally. And trust me, I have tried every single workout routine under the sun. You got Beachbody, did it. I did 30-day fix. I did it. I did Tybo. I did it. I don't know. I mean, we're all around the same age category, so you all know what I'm talking about, Tybo. I did it so hardcore that I actually popped a rib. Needless to say, that was in my 20s, but I have done that. I've done P90X. I've done different classes like spin classes. Do various programs, do various exercises and sample out and try out what it is that you do and you don't like, because you won't know it until you actually try, right? The only thing that I would say is listen to your body. My biggest challenge in this area at this stage of my life is I'm stubborn as hell. And 12 or 13 years ago, I had some knee trouble, and so I was referred to a specialist. And when I went to see the specialist, they basically had said that the cartilage in my knee has completely deteriorated and that I have actually severe arthritis on both my knees, and that I should really look at alternate forms of exercise. I'll be 100% honest with you. They had said to try other things, and truth be told, I did. I tried the elliptical, I tried the bike, I tried walking. It's just not my cup of tea, and it didn't give me the runner's high that I get when I run, and it doesn't give me that release that I need. Arthritis isn't something that goes away. Thankfully, it wasn't at a point where it was painful when I was running on it. But I had talked to my doctor and I had said, I struggle mentally when I don't run. These are the cards I'm dealt with. Knowing that my arthritis isn't going to go away or isn't able to be corrected. Is it really that bad if I continue to run? And again, there's going to be multiple opinions on this, but he had said in respect to my arthritis, running on it and keeping that area and that joint active is probably the best thing I could do. I also have something that I just found out probably about 6 months ago. I have something called chondromalacia. I think it's called runner's knee. And the impact of running on pavement for 2, almost 3 decades has kind of taken its toll on my knees. My ethnic and cultural genetics play a part into being more susceptible to this condition, or at least that's what I was told. I really wasn't shocked because I knew something wasn't right. Even when I run, there's clicking. Sometimes especially going downstairs, my knee would give out. But when I actually even talked to the specialist and we weighed out pros and cons and, what our options are going forward, he had said you can do injections to manage the pain if it's unbearable. But he had basically said, since I'm at this stage and my knee is at this stage and it can't be reversed, that as long as it's okay, you just keep running on it. Just the frequency and the duration and the distance also was something I had to modify. I've struggled a bit because I'm stubborn and I'm always used to doing things the way I've always used to do it. But I'm being realistic that I'm not going to stop running, I'll be honest. It's part of who I am and it's part of how I deal with things. But I have had to modify the intensity, the duration, and the frequency onto what I do with the time when I'm done running. I have always been told weight training is very important. It's even more important in your 40s just because of bone density. And I have really tried to get back into a regimen where I'm lifting weights twice a week or 3 times a week. What I have found, especially coming back and integrating workouts into my everyday routine after my hysterectomy, is not really having a plan. And when it comes to exercise, I don't want to get bored of things and just stick to one thing, because if I do that, I'll burn out quick and then I'll just not want to do it at all. And I'll shake it up. I'll do running. I have a spin bike in my garage. I'm not a huge fan, to be honest, but I'll use it now and then. Weight training is non-negotiable 2 or 3 times a week. I'll sometimes do Pilates or yoga, and it's great for your body, but particularly it's good for your mind, and especially if you have a busy mind and a stressful mind like I do, it does wonders. So the one exercise that I really got into, and my husband laughs all the time because he's like, where's your leotard? Where's your headband? But step aerobics. Before you even change the channel and turn off this YouTube episode, hear me out. I bought a stepper off Amazon about 6 or 7 months ago. And I know when you hear the word aerobics, you think Richard Simmons and Jane Fonda. It doesn't have to be that. I'm telling you, it is a great cardio workout. It's a great form of exercise that you could do at any level and work your way up. It's really good cardio, and they do have ones that integrate weights into it. So they do compound exercise as well, where if I'm really limited on time and I really want to work out multiple parts of my body within that short frame of time, there's compound movement that achieve that. And it's actually quite fun. Don't knock it till you try it. If it's not something you like, then at least you've tried. But I definitely surprisingly love it, and I'll do it not every week, just when I'm feeling it, or probably once every couple of weeks. But it's a workout. It's a grind if you want it to be. And there's so many different levels, and they've got ones with different themes like pop, 80s, 90s. I think ultimately when it comes to exercising and exercise regimens and suggestions and recommendations at this stage of life, it's to not have a set schedule on it or a set program. I think the very fact, if you can shake it up and vary it up and just listen to your body and do what you want to do that day, as long as you're keeping active, do it, because I think it makes it more enjoyable. So that's my take on fitness. Again, I'm not saying defy your doctor's orders either. Okay, guys, like I don't want to get sued. I'm just saying, for me, I'm a little bit of a hothead. I'm a little bit on the stubborn side. I've really weighed out the pros and cons of running. And for me, when I look at the big picture, the pros of running hugely outweigh the cons. And myself and my doctors had just agreed that that's what I was going to do, primarily because I was going to do it anyhow, but whatever. Anyways, so that's that on fitness. The last thing I'll touch on is something that not every woman's going to go through. I used to hear about it. It was mostly men that had this. So again, this isn't a given for your 40s, but this is my experience in your 40s. But the lovely topic of sleep apnea. It's sexy, right? I was diagnosed with sleep apnea at the ripe age of 37. A CPAP machine is just something that is become part of my everyday life. In fact, if I don't have it, I'm exhausted and I don't get good quality sleep. And it's something that I used to be ashamed of because I didn't know many women, I didn't know women for that matter that even had it. And I still don't. I'm not going to lie to you. And if they do need it, or if they do, then they do have it, I don't know about it. My family has it. My dad had it. I mean, I remember waking up in the middle of the night and Darth Vader, like that machine, the sound of that machine, it still haunts me till this very day. They've made a lot of upgrades and changes since then. It's actually quite quiet. So here's something. A couple of years ago, my husband got diagnosed with sleep apnea, and I just laugh because if sometimes guests will come over and I'll give them a tour of the house or something, and the master bedroom, giant king bed, right? And you open the door of the master bedroom. There's the bed. And then you look closer and you got 2 sleep apnea machines, one on each side. The ResMed for him and the ResMed for her. And I'm not kidding you. Those are the names. ResMed for him and her. And I was kind of like, are they ribbed for my pleasure or what? And when you go to bed, and let's be honest, if you've been married or with your partner for a long time, this isn't the movies. We don't spoon, we don't snuggle. We have a king-size bed for a reason. When he goes to one end, I go to mine. That's our happy place, right? And it's a typical night at the Casa Peterson house is we do that, we say goodnight, I love you, and then on come the Mr. Snuffleupagus masks. I mean, truly, you really can't get any more sexier than that, ladies. Since having a sleep apnea machine, all jokes aside, it has changed my life. I used to be exhausted day in, day out, and would need naps all the time. And I would sleep 10 hours a night, and I would still be exhausted and need naps. And since having a sleep apnea machine, I have shorter durations of sleep, but quality sleep. And I haven't really napped in years. And for me, that's a huge achievement. I didn't realize just how sleep deprived I was until I actually got diagnosed and started using my machine. These are all things that you have to want for yourself, and you have to really have a concrete reason why, because if you don't know your why, you're not going to know the how. That is it. That is my journey and my continual journey. And I'm sure I'll do another episode and an update on more of the sexy changes that are to come ahead. But these are the ones that I've gone through so far, or I'm just going through. And I really hope that I've shed some clarity, some insight, some laughs as to what to expect in this stage. If you liked today's episode, I really would appreciate it if you would like the video and subscribe to my channel. It would help me out greatly. Changes in your body, changes in lifestyle, those are inevitable. And I know I would much rather be in a place where I'm in the know going into these changes than going in blindly. So there's that. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you next week for another episode. Have a great one. Okay, bye guys.